Lesson 14. Showing kindness to one's parents. Those who venerate Allah know that Allah has ordered them to venerate their parents. The light which emanates from Islam's moral teachings, being ultimately the awesome light of Allah, fills the hearts of upright Muslims and illuminates the various domains of their lives, until their minds become tranquil and they find stability in their affairs. One of these teachings is showing kindness to one's parents, birr al-walidain. The sacred law greatly emphasizes its importance. The Quran elevates its status and Allah Himself has clarified it. It is an affair upon which life rests, life as it should properly be led, and its existence is the sign of a healthy society with its values intact. Many people in non-Muslim societies do not give their parents their due rights when they become old and frail. It is common for people in these societies to put their mother and father in a care home. Parents may also be harsh in their dealings with their children. Some may even say when their children grow up, "You can either start paying rent on the room you're living in, or you can leave, so I can rent out the room to someone else." Although some Muslims may be taken in by the empty show of non-Muslim society, this situation would be unimaginable even in the Muslim countries which are described as being progressive. The reality of progress is in the teachings of Allah, the one who has the power to bring people forward and to put people back, the one who knows best the interests of His servants and knows best that which elevates them. Although the people of many cultures have, through their nature and instinct, a respect for the rights of parents, it is only Allah's sacred law that truly upholds these rights. When the issue is linked to a person's fundamental beliefs, it is elevated and given its proper place, in accordance with the upright state in which man was originally created. When the realities of faith are lost, and children are not raised well, they become disobedient and do not treat their parents with kindness. This only happens when people's faith is deficient, and when true veneration for Allah has not been established in their hearts. Those who do not venerate Allah will not venerate their parents, whereas those who venerate Allah know that Allah has ordered them to venerate their mother and father and treat them with the utmost kindness. Allah deals with this issue in the Quran in the form of a decree. Your Lord has decreed that you worship none but Him, and that you show kindness to your parents. He then specifically draws attention to the issue of old age, which is grossly neglected in non-Muslim societies and by Muslims who have gone astray. If either or both of them attain old age and you are present, do not even say uff to them. In other words, do not pronounce a single word which expresses impatience or annoyance. Your parents may be old. They may have difficulty in walking or standing, or they may not be able to stand. They may need help going to the toilet and cleaning themselves. They may need to be fed by hand, but do not say uff to them. How many years did they clean you of your filth and take care of you to the extent where if you became ill, it was as if they were ill and not you? If you could not sleep, it was they who deprived themselves of sleep for your sake. Say, Lord, be merciful to them both, as they did care for me when I was small. Allah says, do not say uff to them, nor rebuke them, but speak kind words to them. If in their state of weakness they say to you, I am sorry to trouble you, then speak kind words to them. It is a pleasure and honor to serve you, Dad or Mom. Paradise is in the dust beneath your feet. However much I lower myself to you, it is a source of honor for me, and paradise is my reward. Let them hear from you nothing but kind words. As Allah says, speak kind words to them. Furthermore, Allah also says, lower unto them the wing of humility out of mercy and say, Lord, be merciful to them both, as they did care for me when I was small. You should not be content with merely showing them good character, but in addition to that, you should turn to Allah and ask Him to reward them for raising you. The companion Ibn Umar once met a Yemeni pilgrim who had carried his mother on his back all the way from Yemen to Mecca. When he arrived, he went around the Kaaba with her on his back and took her to stand on the plain of Arafah. He cleaned her, washed her, performed for her the ablutions necessary for prayer, and took care of all her needs. He met Ibn Umar when he was going round the Kaaba with her, and said to him, "O Ibn Umar, this is how I have treated my mother. Do you think I have performed my duty to her?" Ibn Umar replied, "None of what you have done is equal to even one groan which she let out when giving birth to you." As we have seen, the sacred law sanctifies the rights of parents, and through this we see the way in which Islam organizes society. An Islamic community is not based merely on mutual responsibility, but rather it is more complete than that. The members of an Islamic community work together for the good of each other in a spirit of justice, harmony, and respect. There are moral teachings which show adults how to raise children. There are teachings for the youth in respect to those older and younger than them. Islam reserves special respect and honor for those who have reached old age, for they have spent their lives trying to benefit society. We do not honor old people for their sake alone, but rather for the sake of Allah, since to have reverence for an old person is to have reverence for Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, "To honor the one whose hair has gone gray in Islam is to exalt Allah." Imam al-Haddad says, "Your parents have rights which are only fulfilled by those who fear Allah, and likewise your relatives." Only Allah and His Messenger have greater rights over you than your parents. For this reason, gratitude to parents is linked in the Quran to gratitude to Allah. Show gratitude to me and to your parents. To me is your final goal. Those who show kindness to their parents can be considered to be honoring the ties of kinship, and can thus expect to receive the rewards for this in this life. Allah will extend their lifespan and will give them children who will treat them righteously when they become old. Likewise, those who disobey their parents, cut family ties, fornicate, or commit other abominations and intrude into the private affairs of others will receive punishment in the short term. Those who poke into the affairs of others will find their houses, families, and children being watched. People receive the reward for righteousness and punishment for disobedience in the short term. A young man used to annoy his father until he became angry. When this happened, he would drag his father out of the house and leave him on the step outside. Time passed and he grew older. His children were very harsh in their dealings with him and would likewise drag him until they reached the step of the house, at which point he would say, "Stop, I only used to drag your grandfather to this point." They would reply, "That was the capital, and what is beyond, that is profit, so we are giving you more." And they would drag him further than he used to drag his father. A person is rewarded in kind, according to the action. It is fitting that the punishment for crimes such as cutting the ties of kinship and injustice is meted out by Allah in the short term. O Allah, help us to be righteous, and to travel along the path of the righteous, to be among the ones who are guided, and also who guide others, and make our children good, righteous, and honorable by your mercy. O Allah, bless our children, and do not allow harm to come to them, and give us and them the ability to obey you, and help them to respect us. May Allah bestow His blessings upon our Master Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and upon his family and companions. All praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds.